What is up, everybody? This is your boy, Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Back with you with another preview before the NCAA men's volleyball tournament. And with me, I have UCLA men's volleyball coach, John Hawks. How are you doing today, John?
Doing good, Teran. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So it's been kind of a whirlwind for you all this past week. So I'll try to make this as quick and as possible. So let's start off with you all winning the MPSF tournament. Your second year as head coach, and you wound up winning it, and it was against your rival USC. How much of a reward was it beating your rival and winning on the road against BYU?
Well, it's credit to our guys. I think just let's congratulate them on just a really good season so far and accomplishing the next step in our journey towards the national championship. So. Yeah, I mean, beating SC was great. I think watching them the night before versus or two nights before versus Pepperdine was a great match between those two, and both those teams are deserving to be in the tournament. So for us to get another win versus a team under consideration for the tournament, or now you know what I mean, what was good for us. So yeah, SC it didn't really mean that much more to me, to be honest with you. I do like beating them, but um, at this point of the year, we're about just getting better on our side of the net and uh, and really whoever's in front of us, it's going to be special. So, and doing that at BYU, to win at BYU is always tough. I've been coaching in that gym since 2003, and it's not a lot of coaches can say they've won a whole bunch in that gym. So to get a win in there is always good. Yeah.
Now, talk to me about some of your standouts because you've got lots of standouts this year, and talk to me about players that have made an impact for your team but doesn't get the spotlight that they deserve.
I mean, Chris Conley, the fact that he wasn't on the All MPSF team is a shame. It's a robbery. And Chris Conley's been a huge addition to us. Amazing, stable, skilled, great defender. Yeah, I mean, I could go on about him. He's just really brought a lot to us and a lot of stability to our passing rotations. And he's a guy that just is continually working. We just came out of the practice gym. Here we are in late April, and Chris had just a really focused and dialed in practice, and he's just such a great kid. So I'd start with him. The rest of the guys are at all PSF honors, so it's who's the unsung hero is really him, and then you've got guys like Decker and Micah Wangialo, who are just kind of seeing the court for the first time this year and have 30 starts under the belt. And I think just going back is, you got Zach Rama, who's earned all MPSF Player of the Week a few times, maybe four times. Cam's earned it. Um, I think Andrew got it one time. And I think Andrew is, I mean, he's celebrated by a lot of people, but I think people just take for granted his play. He's so talented and so good, and he makes all of our guys good. And the reason we're having a year that we are is yeah, everybody, but Andrew makes this engine go.
Absolutely. And I also definitely agree with you about Chris Conley. That's why it is hashtag justice for liberos. So I hate to have to rip this band-aid off, but the loss to Pepperdine at Stonefire Fieldhouse, what was kind of like the post-game reaction, and how do you all think you learned from that loss?
I mean, Pepperdine was good that night, and that gym is incredibly hard to play in. Uh, they have a really good team. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They do a lot of really good things, and we didn't make any excuses. And I think the fact that we play our best match, probably not. And um, so what did it do for us? Yeah, it reset us a little bit. We went back in and said, okay, you know what? Like, um, here's what we can do better. Here's how we can get better on our side of the net, with our systems or our serving or our passing. And yeah, I think it was just a good reset for us. And at no point did we ever say like, hey, let's go undefeated. We lost by 2 points in the fifth set. And I don't think anybody overreacted on our side of the net at all. We got in the practice gym, we worked hard, we moved on, and we moved on really quickly, as a matter of fact.
The old saying goes, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. And I think you all learned from that loss quite well. So I want to get your thoughts on the new NCAA tournament format. What are your thoughts on the NCAA tournament and how it's expanded from 9 to 12 teams?
I think it's great. I mean, anytime we can get more teams in the tournament, it's just a better representation of the quality of volleyball around the country. And the regional setup and the way the committee sort of, I'm going to say, seeded it. I know they didn't, but they did a good job. And I think there's always going to be people that have their thoughts on, oh, hey, this team should have been there, or this team should have been it. But at the end of the day, I thought they did a great job. They got the right teams in the tournament. And I think the country or whoever's watching is going to be treated to some really good volleyball games. And these first round matchups, even the quarterfinal matchups, I think are just going to be really fun for people to see. And congrats to all those teams that made it. I would love to see 16 teams. I think that would be even more exciting for all of us. But yeah, shoot, we're at 12 for the first time, and how great for all of us.
Indeed. And I think we're going to get 13 next year because the Great Lakes Valley Conference will be past its infancy stage because it's in its first year. And I think the NCAA says you can't have a automatic qualifier in your first year in terms of conferences. But I digress.
You know
So,
more than I do with that. So there you go.
okay. Anyway, so I do actually want to ask you a little bit of a fun question. So, Miles Partain, we all know who he is, an absolute beast of a beach volleyball player. When I saw him and I saw one of your players, Luca Curci, I thought they looked alike. Do you think Luca Curci and Miles Partain look the same or look alike?
I'm not gonna go. No, I don't. I know both those guys too well, so I agree with you. Miles is a beast, and he's a great volleyball player, and he's even a better human being. Um, I'd say the same for Luca too. So no, I don't. And my my daughter would kill me if she heard this, but yeah, my oldest has a crush on Luca. So it's yeah, she would say that they don't look alike. I will say that.
Okay. Well, I just one time saw, a picture of Miles. I'm like, wait, is that Luca? I'm like, no, it's Miles. So, but that's pretty cool. Luca, I actually got to cover back in high school when he was a beast at Newport Harbor. He actually was coached by Eric Valley, a UCLA, former UCLA men's volleyball alum, which was great. But I digress. So, there's a few more questions, then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You all hosting the regionals and then the semifinals, then the national championship. How much of an honor is it to host everything and you don't have to leave your humble abode?
Uh, yeah, it's nice to sleep in our own beds and be playing in front of these amazing fans that we have, and they've really shown out for us this year. Our crowds have been great. I know our administration's happy about it. We've got a ton of coaches that support us in this department and athletes. So I know that they're really happy about that they can come watch us play. Our friends and family, that get to come back to Poly Pavilion, and our seniors get to finish uh, their careers in their home gym. I think it's just a really special thing, and I'm so happy that our four seniors that they can go out playing at home.
I forgot you only had four seniors. It feels like you've got more seniors, but they're impacting seniors. I also will just say I'm so glad you all are hosting because I will definitely do my darndest to try to go to this. It's not going to be like last year where I was at Columbus and I sadly couldn't really go to that, but I digress.
Yeah, Decker is graduating, but he's coming back.
Oh, duly noted on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point on IE Sports Radio with John Hawks, UCLA men's volleyball coach. I do want to ask this. In all your years of coaching, because I know you've coached a long time, even with Eddie Rapp, who told me that he coached with you last week, I want to know, what's your biggest volleyball ick?
I think the saying when I hear people, you know, I don't know, 4 sets into a match, still going, "Let's go." I think the "let's go" term is it's just it's overplayed and I think that's part of it. Yeah, I just think that's probably the first one that comes to mind.
Well, I will make sure I don't say that around you, or I don't say that in terms of like a match. All right. So just a couple more questions and I'll let you go. So I do want to ask about Eddie Rapp. Last week I interviewed him. Unfortunately, they did not beat Golden West, but he said he coached with you back at Edison, I want to say. Talk to me about Eddie Rapp and any other coaches that you've coached with.
Yeah, Eddie and I started coaching together at Edison. It was one year. I want to say that was in '92. And then I left, went down to San Diego, came back and coached with them at Santa Margarita High School. And at Santa Margarita, I think we won 7 or 8 CIF championships on the girls and the guys side back to back. We just kept winning and winning and winning. Um, I Eddie and I made a great team, and he went to Edison, so he was a senior when I was a freshman in high school, and I watched him play, and I loved watching him as a player, as a setter. He did some things that were just remarkable, and then I got a chance to coach with him, and he lived 2 doors down from me, so I was best friends with his little brother too, and I was at their house, gosh, I mean, for a long time, and then we got a chance to coach together, and it was just some memories that I'll never forget. We obviously won a lot, but yeah, the impact that he made on the young girls and boys that he coached, and then the impact he made on me as a coach. I think that I took a lot from him, and to see him still coaching, I see him on the bike trail and down at the beach, and I just saw his wife yesterday down at the beach, and yeah, it's just he's such a great guy and a good leader, and um, yeah, I just shared a lot of really great times with him, and I'll cherish him for a long time.
You won a lot of back at Santa Margarita. I didn't know you won that much. I knew you won some, but it's like eat your heart out, Dan Glenn. And I say that with all due respect to Biggs because Biggs created pretty much his own legacy at Newport Harbor. But I digress. So one last question, then I'll pretty much let you go. Fill in the blank for me. UCLA wins the national championship if they blank.
That's a great question. If we continue to play for each other on the court, um, and yes, there's a lot of volleyball things that we need to continue to do, and we're still getting better. We're still a work in progress here. Where today we're working on a couple things, and um, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that if we really enjoy being on the court and competing in that moment, I think that that's a broad answer, but when our guys are playing with smiles on their faces and you see Andrew Rowan with that big smile, we're going to be hard to beat.
I love it. I definitely think you all play with a lot of joy and you have a lot of fun on that court. Before we end this off, do you have any other thank yous or shout outs you want to give out before we close the book on this?
I mean, thanks to everybody covering the sport, like yourself. So appreciate that, and then thanks for everybody that's supported the boys and shown up for this team. And I'm continually overwhelmed with the amount of support from our alumni. And I got texts from Al Skates and John Spraw and Karch Karai and just legends of Bruins that love us and what we're doing. And um, I'm getting texts continually about, just the amount of fun that they're having with their families watching our team compete. And yeah, so just thanks to everybody that supported us. And it goes a long way when we hear from you. So thank you.
Well, listen, John, congratulations on making it this far, and congratulations on winning MPSF Coach of the Year. No doubt you deserve it. And that'll do it for this interview. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, John Hawks. He's John Hawks. I'm Teran Rodriguez. And this is another set point interview before the NCAA men's volleyball tournament. Fours up.
Thanks, buddy.